Well, hello everybody out there in Atlanta. This is Chris from MajorLegacy.com. Another exciting episode of Topher's Log. Forgive a little bit of the boot setup here. Last night I forgot to charge my camera battery in my DSLR, so you get to go a little bit old school on the phone here. My cat's been acting a little crazy because she knows that I've got to do something, so she's been running around. So if she makes some noise, I apologize. But at least it's not the big feet upstairs playing the music. But yeah, so today we had the giant scare zone dump. All the scare zones plus Academy Villains was announced. We'll get to that in just a second. But the way that this Topher's Log is going to work is that I do have a hype list for the scare zones. So because these weren't systematically revealed throughout the course of the event, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about these in from the bottom of the barrel all the way up to the top. And then we'll reveal we'll give you the graphic at the end. Let's start quickly with the show or shows. Academy Villains was indeed announced to come back. I've heard a title for this show, but it wasn't officially announced in the blog, so I won't mention what that is right now. It's Academy Villains. I like Academy Villains. I know some people don't like Academy Villains, but I like them very much. I thought they were a very nice change of pace. Once Bill and Ted was gone. My thoughts on Bill and Ted are much documented, so you can go back and you can, read and, hate on me all you want. But I was kind of glad to see Bill and Ted go because the show was, it had run its course. It had been there for a long time. It had sort of gotten stale. It was time to bring something else in. I know it's a controversial point of view, but it was nice to see something new as opposed to Bill and Ted. And I thought Academy Villains was a good fit. It is what it is. They've been back. Was this their fourth year? I guess it is. More than likely going to be in the Fear Factor Live stage. We know that they're constructing, doing the whole Horror Nights makeover. So it is what it is. I keep hearing about another show. I suspect we'll hear about it soon. I think for the show elements, I would probably look to Halloween Horror Nights 22 to sort of see how that might operate. But we'll move on from that. So nevertheless, here come the scare zones. Like I said, we're going to start from the bottom of the list and work our way up to the top. Coming in at number 5 is going to be Zombieland Double Tap. Now, Zombieland, I am not the biggest fan of the film. So that just kind of, my interest goes way down from there. Plus, we haven't seen the sequel. But we haven't seen the sequel. That's a very large garbage truck outside, folks. Of course. God, this has been such a hard video to put together this morning. I don't know what it is. What did I do to you, universe? I'm sorry. But anyway, so we haven't seen the sequel, so we don't kind of know how that's going to go. And because I just don't like the first film that much, this just kind of goes on the bottom. It just sort of, it's bottom of the barrel for me. If I had to guess, it's going to New York. The 3 of the scare zones actually had locations confirmed, Hollywood, Plaza of the Stars or Avenue of the Stars, however you want to call it, and also Central Park. But the 2 IP scare zones didn't get any mention of where they're going to be. But if I had to guess, this would go in New York. New York always kind of lends itself to these big grandiose scare zones, and there's already stuff out there that sort of, lends credence to that. So probably New York. But yeah, so this one comes in at number 5 at the bottom of the barrel. So coming in at number 4 is going to be Vikings Undead. Now, Vikings Undead is going to go in the Central Park scare zone. Central Park lends itself to very atmospheric scare zones. I've said this in the past. I would not expect the pumpkins to be back this year because it doesn't kind of fit the Viking theme. It would not surprise me if we get other things, maybe lanterns. We've had jars before in the trees. Zombie Vikings, zombies. We have Zombieland. Now we've got Vikings Undead, which are zombies or undead Vikings, whatever. Undead zombies, same thing in my opinion. Kind of a unique take on the scares on the whole zombie undead thing. The scare zones this year all kind of interest me in one way or another, minus Zombieland. All the other ones kind of pique my interest a lot more. This one, even though it's at number 4, I still kind of want to see how they pull off this whole vibe. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a very interesting scare zone to sort of see what they do and how they pull it off and how they do it. Will we see a Viking longship? I don't know. Maybe not. It depends. I think everyone is kind of anticipating a Viking longship somewhere, around Central Park, but, we'll see how that goes. But anyway, so number 4 is going to be Vikings Undead. Moving into number 3, it's going to be Vanity Ball. Now, Vanity Ball is going to be located in the Hollywood scare zone. This was the one that everyone thought was plastic surgery for a long time. Really has like a 7 vibe to it. There was a Vanity. Vanity is one of the 7 deadly sins. Vanity was in that scare zone. But this one sounds pretty cool. The lighting trusses that they have in Hollywood are actually very interesting. You know, they're just the way that they're designed with the big crooks on the top. They're very large with the big hooks. We kind of hadn't seen anything like that in the New York Scare Zone in quite some time, or excuse me, in the Hollywood Scare Zone for quite some time. Yeah, it's you know, kind of surgery guy gone amok type thing. You know, I like it. It kind of has an 80s vibe to it, which is very interesting. You know, not a whole lot of real 80s in these scare zones except for a couple things, but you know, this one just it kind of screams sort of 80s ridiculous slasher movie thing to me. So yeah, so Vanity Ball is going to come in at number 3. Now number 2 is going to be Rob Zombie Hellbilly Deluxe. I mentioned in a previous video this year, got a little bit of flack for it, but I like Rob Zombie stuff. I might have done that video on purpose because I kind of knew what was sort of coming at the time. But I enjoy Rob Zombie stuff. I think that he needs to work with Universal more. I don't think he works with them enough. I know Rob Zombie is not everyone's cup of tea. But I enjoy his stuff quite a bit. I enjoy his films. I enjoy his music, and I'm really excited to see how they bring this music stuff to life. Now, this is the other IP Scare Zone was not given a location. Last year, of course, we had a new location in South Street, and if all the other locations this year are kind of taken, New York Avenue of the Stars or Production Central, Hollywood Boulevard, and Central Park, one would think that perhaps South Street would be the Scare Zone for the Rob Zombie stuff, but I am inclined to believe that the Scare Zone is going to be in San Francisco. I could be wrong, but there's nothing really in South Street for us to look. You know, there's nothing set up yet. There's stuff set up in San Francisco, so I would assume it's going to be one of those two locations, San Francisco or South Street. But right now, I'm inclined to believe that's going to be in San Francisco because there's actual stuff set up for a Scare Zone. So, but anyway, I'm excited for this. Like I said before, I like Rob Zombie stuff. I'm really glad that it's just the music and not the movies. I really want to see how they interpret that stuff. I want to see the crazy zaniness of Rob Zombie's music brought to life. He sort of let the cat out of the bag with this a little bit earlier than Horror Nights actually announced it. You know, so that was kind of fun. But yeah, so you can tell he's excited about it. You know, he hasn't worked with Hollywood in quite some time, so. Or excuse me, with Horror Nights in quite some time. There's that, Rob Zombie. I'm excited about Rob Zombie. I know people are going to hate on this Scare Zone, but I'm excited about it. So especially I think the general public's going to hate on this a lot more. But I think more of the diehards will be a little bit more forgiving of Rob Zombie stuff. But in terms of the general public, they might not get it. So that's whatever. But it's Rob Zombie. I'm excited about Rob Zombie. So yeah. So there's that. So the final Scare Zone on the list is In Arcade. You know, I heard about these Scare Zones very early on in the year, and In Arcade was the one that always intrigued me the most. What are they going to do here? Is it an actual arcade? Are they going to use like actual arcade characters? I know there was a lot of talk about laser lights and people in laser suits. That's very 80s. This thing is very 80s. It's right at the front of the park when you walk down Production Central, so it sort of captures that loose 80s theme that they're going for this year. I want to see the neon, I want to see the lights, I want to see what they do with the actual arcade. There's been talk between some of the minds that be out there at A&D about like certain characters that they should sort of dress up as, you know, to fool people, you know. There's a lot of potential here, and I'm so giddy about the Scare Zone. I really want to see how they pull it off. Like I said before, the Scare Zones this year, this is probably the most excited for Scare Zones that I've been, I think, in quite some time. The last couple years for Scare Zones have been kind of meh for me, but this lineup of Scare Zones I'm really excited about. I think there's a lot of potential, even though I'm not excited for Zombieland, I think there's a lot of potential. You know, to do a lot of really cool stuff here, especially with some of the originals, like In Arcade and you know, Vanity Ball. Just the way that they're setting stuff up right now looks very interesting. So I'm really curious to see how they do that. So that's it. All the Scare Zones. So we got In Arcade at number 1. Let's go back. Let's look at the graphic one last time. In Arcade at number 1. That name is so fucking weird. In Arcade. Rob Zombie Hellbilly Deluxe, number 3 Vanity Ball, number 4 Vikings Undead, and number 5 Zombieland double tap. So that's it. We had all the scare zones released. Sorry about the boot sort of version here. I was a dumbass and didn't charge my phone last night. I got home from work. I was very tired. I'm starting to do a new little thing at work, and it's sort of taken up a lot of my energy. So when I got home, I just forgot to charge my camera battery. So it is dead, but nevertheless, here we are. So a little bit of a boot version, but that's it. One more house left to go. They teased something this afternoon, but I think they were supposed to do this sometime around noon. It's almost noon now, so maybe by the time I do this video, they would have announced the last house, but who the hell knows? But yeah, so one more house left to go, and the event is, what, 25 days away, something like that, so we're almost there. But anyway, guys, I'm going to get out of here. That is it for me. I will talk to you guys soon.